Hi all, Adam here with another bouldering coaching session on my road to being a better climber. Today we're looking at route reading and footwork, an issue I addressed in my previous video. To begin, our instructor Nix at Rockover Climbing Manchester ran through the types of holds we use when bouldering. The type of hold determines how you approach a climb, which angle you come at it, and where to move next. The more you plan out your route in advance, the less time and energy you waste on the wall and the more likely you are to succeed. We have side pulls, pockets, pinches, slopers, undercuts, jugs, and crimps. I'm not going to go into too much detail during this video, as I'm not the best person to teach you about holds or route reading. Not yet anyway, but I am really excited to show you all my progress here at the end of the video. We're back on the traversal wall, which is, as it turns out, my favourite way to tire myself out before climbing. There's something about it that just saps my energy. Anyone else feel the same? Anyway, our mission here was to consider the types of holds we're using, how we hold them, and from which angle we approach. Some holds blur the line between crimp and sloper or pinch and side pull, which really is part of what makes climbing so interesting as an activity. There's not usually one right way, and each person has a different experience on the wall. Now for some actual climbing. Here's a simple VB. I was trying to approach it by minimizing the amount of moves I needed to make. The same for this white VB. As you can see, I'm still not 100% confident in my feet, but I'm definitely spending less time on each climb. A lot of the V0s seem to be jug heavy, so it was nice to see a V0 making use of both a corner as well as slopers, jugs, and side pulls. I didn't execute this perfectly, but that's what I get for only route planning the first two holds. Jumping up to a V1, this green problem was a bit of fun with an underhang and some dedicated footholds. We'll actually be revisiting this one later on in the class too. Now this black V1 was a favourite of mine, just because it's quite different to the others. It seems trickier than it is. These on the left basically act as stairs, so if you can handle the large slopers above, you're fine. Moving swiftly on, we're now going to be actually teaching one another how to climb. Basically, in pairs, our task was to direct the other person up the wall whilst considering the route, holds, and of course the height of the person. Being quite tall, it was interesting to consider how someone shorter would have made use of different holds to progress, but more importantly, it had me sit back a few times and consider the route properly, rather than just jumping on. If you made it this far, I'd really appreciate if you could like the video and subscribe if you want to see more bouldering content. I also do a lot of hiking videos, if that catches your interest at all. Climbing whilst being instructed, on the other hand, was a bit of a challenge. Sometimes on the wall you feel or see a hold that just makes sense, yet the person below, with a different point of view, sends you the opposite way. This could make for an interesting premise for a future video. What do you think? With routes, hold types, and success in mind, it's time to take on a few of the V2s that I struggled with in the past. Previously, this red V2 really had me stumped. The holds just seemed far too far apart. Now I'm not really sure if I did this properly, but I got both hands on the final hold and no one can take that away from me. Finally, we have this other red V2, which I previously called my Everest. Looking back on previous footage, it was clear I was wasting too much time and too much energy between moves, and I was just too tired to tackle it. But with a little motivation from fellow climbers and a great deal of effort, I made it. With that, I feel like I've firmly solidified my place as a V2 climber, and it's time to take on some V3s finally. But for that, you'll have to wait for the next video. Thanks for watching all.